In January 1974, an unidentified object fell in the Andean mountains of Peru. Many people witnessed what happened. The military authorities surrounded the area, erased the tracks and denied what had happened. But locals had managed to get to the area before the military and detailed that a metallic-looking object had crashed into the mountains. One local detailed in 2007 that a humanoid was found on the ground close to the crash site in 1974, and that they had picked up the entity and put it in storage. They kept this secret for over 30 years before releasing photographs of what they found that day. Amongst the wreckage of a small, otherworldly craft lay the lifeless body of a being unlike anything he had ever seen before. It was about 4 feet tall, with greyish skin, delicate humanoid features, and large almond-shaped eyes. Its lifeless form exuded an eerie stillness that sent shivers down his spine. For a moment, he reported that he stood frozen, gazing upon the lifeless being in awe and disbelief. The craft's metallic remnants glimmered in the moonlight, emitting a surreal aura. His compassionate nature compelled him to help in whatever way he could, though he had no idea where to begin. With great care, he transported the mysterious being to his aging garage, a repository of tools, farming equipment, and forgotten family heirlooms. He improvised a makeshift resting place for the being, wrapping it in soft blankets and arranging a simple bed of straw. Over the weeks that followed, he kept his discovery hidden from the world. The villagers had been shaken by the strange crash, but they remained oblivious to the secret that now resided in his garage. Despite his best efforts, the man could not unlock the mysteries surrounding the being. Its identity and the nature of the craft remained elusive. In the silence of the garage, he pondered the being's origins, its purpose on Earth, and the circumstances that had led to the crash. Years passed, and the man's secret remained buried within the walls of the old garage. He had become a guardian of the unknown, a silent witness to a cosmic mystery. But as the years advanced, his own health began to wane. He knew that his time on Earth was drawing to a close. On a clear, starry night, with the moon casting a gentle glow on the mountains, the man felt the weight of his years and the unanswered questions that would forever haunt him. He knew that he could no longer protect the being in the garage, nor could he unravel the secrets of its existence. With a heavy heart, he made a solemn vow to the silent visitor that its identity would be revealed to the world. He promised that one day, someone would come who could offer answers, provide solace, and honor the being's memory. And with that, he quietly passed away, leaving behind the silent mystery that had been his companion for so long. In the years that followed his passing, the old garage stood as a silent testament to the enigmatic discovery that had shaped his life. The villagers remained unaware of the secret that had resided in their midst for decades, but the legend of the mysterious crash and the reclusive farmer who had kept the unknown visitor lived on in local folklore. The identity of the being and the nature of the craft remained hidden, waiting for a day when the truth would come to light. The man's promise, made in the quiet moments of his final night, lingered in the air, a vow that someone, somewhere, would one day uncover the enigma that had forever altered his destiny. The silent visitor in the old garage, shrouded in mystery, remained a symbol of the unexplored depths of the cosmos, a reminder that the universe held secrets beyond the comprehension of humankind. These photographs are the only remaining proof that we have of the creature, and as of right now, the government denies there ever being a crash. The Mystery Woman. In August 1954, the top of Mount Palomar in the United States hosted a remarkable convention that featured details on mysterious flying aircrafts, detailing eyewitness encounters and sharing knowledge about sightings that no one knew about. The event took place at an altitude of over 1,800 meters, and different members in the community gathered to exchange ideas and share experiences about these strange phenomena. The convention was highly memorable, and it attracted participants from different parts of the country who were keen to learn and engage in discussions surrounding the convention. Was attended by over 1,000 individuals from various walks of life, including journalists from all over the globe, FBI agents, witnesses, and even individuals who were merely curious. all of the people who were contacted shared their distinct experiences. At the conclusion of the initial day's proceedings, there was a commotion among the attendees as they observed the unanticipated presence of an attractive woman accompanied by a duo of men. One of the men had glasses, and all three individuals were of fair complexion. The woman distinguished herself with her blonde hair and strikingly black and intense eyes. Further standout features included unusual cranial formation and an unusual bone mark on her forehead. During the convention, a journalist from Brazil was in attendance and conducted an interview with a group of individuals who signed the guest book. According to the journalist's research, the woman in the group was named Dolores Barrios, and she identified herself as being a fashion designer from New York. During the meeting the next day, Martins managed to take a photograph of the woman, which surprised her and led to her immediately leaving the area with her two friends. Oddly enough, moments after the three individuals left and ran for the nearby forest, those in attendance reported that a mysterious aircraft was seen taking off and leaving the area at incredible speeds. However, due to the speed in which the aircraft was traveling, the witnesses in attendance reported that they were unable to capture any photographic evidence of the event. Despite thorough investigation, no individuals have come forward to claim knowledge or identification of the unusual individuals depicted in the photographs. As of today, it remains a mystery who they are, what their purpose was, and why they left the event in a hurry. Jerome of Sandy Cove. In September of 1863, an unidentified man was found on the beach of Sandy Cove and given the name Jerome. This man's true identity remains a mystery to this day. The discovery of Jerome sparked curiosity and questions about how he ended up where he did and where he originated from. The individual in question was discovered with amputated legs, leaving him unable to stand. When questioned by locals, he provided limited responses, perhaps indicating a lack of proficiency in both English and French languages. He was requested to reveal his name, but his response was unclear, as he muttered something which sounded like Jerome. Consequently, he was addressed by this name. An 8-year-old boy named George Colin Albright discovered him in the village of Digby Neck, and he was later taken to the Albright family's home to receive proper care and attention. The boy found him in a state of ill health and decided to take it upon himself to bring him back to health. Jerome had undergone a surgical procedure where both of his legs were amputated above the knees, and the incisions showed that the surgeon performing the amputation was highly skilled. It is evident by some that Jerome had lost both of his legs at the same time, but as of right now, researchers are unsure of how this happened. When the man was discovered, it was observed that the stumps on his body were only partially healed and still covered by bandages. In addition, he was experiencing the unpleasant effects of being exposed to cold weather for an extended period of time. Visitors to his sick bed were interested in learning more about him, but were surprised to discover that he was unable to comprehend French, Latin, Italian, or Spanish. These shortcomings highlighted his limited linguistic abilities, which impacted his interactions with foreign partners. According to witnesses, the man in question was observed to be avoiding the attention of the curious onlookers, and when faced with unwanted guests, he growled like a dog to scare them away. The observers also noticed that the man seemed to have hands that were too soft to belong to a manual labourer, and he was described as having a Mediterranean appearance. The family who had found him had a hard time supporting another member, which resulted in him being passed from one household to another. Finally, the Baptist community of Digby Neck suggested that he was a Catholic, and so subsequently sent him to the nearby French community of Mettingen. This experience of being shifted from family to family had a significant impact on Jerome's life. The government then got involved and made the decision to approve a fixed sum of $2 per week to provide financial support to Jerome. After the community persistently attempted to break his aloofness, Jerome was compelled to reside with Jean Nicola, a multilingual Corsican defector. Nicola was unable to engage him in conversation, but Jerome remained residing in the household of Nicola for an additional 7 years. During his stay, he became a beloved companion of the female members of the household. Soon after the passing of Juliette Nicola, her husband relocated to Europe, while Jerome found shelter with Dedier and Zabeth Como near Metegan. Jerome passed away on the 15th of April, 1912. Decades passed, and various individuals claimed they knew who Jerome was. Many believed the man to be Italian, perhaps a mutilated nobleman who kept his silence to save himself from political rivals. Another theory was that he was an Italian naval officer, injured on board and cruelly abandoned by his crewmates. Those who cared for him claimed he would sometimes utter Colombo and Trieste, further proving that he was Italian. The mystery of the Green Children of Woolpit. The Green Children of Woolpit is a legend that dates back to the 12th century and is believed to have originated in the town of Woolpit in Suffolk, England. The legend tells the story of two children, a brother and a sister, who were found wandering in a field outside the town of Woolpit. They were strange-looking children with green skin and spoke a language that no one in the town could understand. The children were taken in by a local landowner, Sir Richard Decane, who tried to feed them with bread and water. However, the children refused to eat any food except for green beans. They appeared to be in good health, but they refused to eat anything else other than green beans. Over time, the children began to adapt to their new surroundings and eventually learned to speak English. They told their hosts that they came from a place called St. Martin's Land, which was a world of perpetual twilight. They claimed that the sun never shone in their world, and that everything was always green. As the children grew older, their skin gradually lost its green color, and they began to eat regular food. The boy became sick and passed away, while the girl adapted to her new life and eventually married a man from King's Lynn. She reportedly retained her greenish hue for the rest of her life. The legend of the Green Children of Woolpit has been the subject of much speculation and debate over the centuries, with some suggesting that the children were actually advanced beings or creatures from another dimension, while others believe that they were the survivors of an ancient civilization or the descendants of a race of green-skinned people. However, most historians and scholars believe that the story of the Green Children is likely a combination of folklore and historical fact. The green color of their skin may have been the result of a rare genetic condition known as chlorosis, which causes the skin to turn greenish-yellow due to a lack of iron in the blood. Alternatively, the children may have been suffering from malnutrition or exposure to an unknown substance that caused their skin to turn green. The story of the Green Children of Woolpit has been retold many times over the centuries and has become a popular legend in English folklore. Despite the many theories and speculations surrounding the story, the true origins of the Green Children remain a mystery. The mysterious Lady in White. The Lady in White is a common ghostly apparition that has been reported in various cultures and regions around the world. The origins of the Lady in White legend are unclear, but many believe it to have originated from the 19th century Victorian era in Europe, where it was believed that a woman who passed away tragically and without justice could become a ghost, dressed in a long white dress and haunting the place of her death. The Lady in White is often associated with tragic or violent deaths, and the apparition is commonly seen near or around the location where she passed away. The Lady in White is often described as a beautiful, pale woman wearing a long white dress, sometimes with a veil or shawl covering her hair. Her appearance is usually ethereal, and she is said to have a peaceful or sad expression. The Lady in White is often reported to appear in areas such as graveyards, abandoned buildings, or on the side of the road. Many people believe that the Lady in White's appearance is a warning of danger or tragedy, while others believe that the apparition is a lost soul seeking justice for her untimely passing. Regardless of the belief, the Lady in White has become a popular figure in many ghost stories and legends. There are many reported sightings of the Lady in White around the world, with each region or culture having its own interpretation of the apparition. For example, in Hispanic culture, the Lady in White is known as La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman, who haunts rivers and waterways, mourning the loss of her children. In the United States, there are many stories of the Lady in White, including at the Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana, where a ghostly woman in a white dress has been reported to haunt the grounds. In New York, the Lady in White is said to appear on the Taconic State Parkway, where she passed away in a car collision. She is also reported to haunt the Donovan Mill in Nevada, where a woman named Elizabeth McGrath was taken out in a mining accident. The origin of the lady in white motif is unclear, but it is likely that it has evolved from various cultural and historical sources. One possible explanation for the lady in white motif is that it is a manifestation of the archetypal figure of the mourning woman. The archetype of the mourning woman is a universal theme in mythology and folklore, and it often represents the grief and sorrow of a community or a nation. The lady in white may be seen as a specific manifestation of this archetype, representing the grief and sorrow of a particular time and place. Another possible explanation for the lady in white motif is that it is a manifestation of the concept of residual haunting. Residual haunting is a paranormal phenomenon in which an event from the past is replayed over and over again in a particular location, creating a ghostly impression. In this context, the lady in white may be seen as a residual haunting of a woman who passed away, or who experienced great emotional turmoil in the location where she is seen. The lady in white is also often associated with specific historical events or legends. In some cases, the lady in white is said to be the ghost of a woman who passed away during childbirth, or who was betrayed by a lover. The lady in white is a fascinating and enduring motif in folklore and ghost stories around the world. Although the origin of the motif is uncertain, it is clear that it has captured the imagination of countless storytellers and continues to haunt our collective imagination. The Vatican, the headquarters of the Catholic Church, is a site of great religious significance for millions of people around the world. However, it is also known to have a long and complex history of paranormal and supernatural phenomena that have fascinated people for centuries. One of the most famous paranormal incidents at the Vatican is the story of the ghost of Pope Leo XIII. According to legend, in 1884, the Pope had a vision of Satan and heard him challenging the Church to a century-long battle. In response, the Pope composed a prayer to St. Michael the Archangel, asking for protection against the devil's schemes. It is said that the Pope's vision and prayer were widely circulated among the faithful and contributed to the growing interest in exorcisms and other supernatural practices within the Church. The Vatican has also been linked to numerous ghost sightings and hauntings over the years. One of the most well-known of these is the story of the ghost of Joan of Arc. According to legend, Joan of Arc was brought to Rome in 1430, where she was interrogated. It is said that her ghost still haunts the church, where it has been seen by numerous visitors over the years. The Vatican also has a long history of secret societies and esoteric traditions that have fueled speculation about its involvement in paranormal and supernatural practices. One of the most well-known of these is the Order of the Knights Templar, a medieval Catholic military order that was accused of practicing witchcraft and other dark arts. While the Templars were disbanded by the Church in the 14th century, their legacy has lived on in popular culture and theories, and they are still widely associated with the Vatican and its inner workings. In recent years, the Vatican has become more open to discussing the paranormal and supernatural. In 2014, for example, the Church held its first ever conference on exorcism, which was attended by hundreds of priests and laypeople from around the world. The conference was intended to address the growing interest in exorcisms and the paranormal, and to provide guidance to priests and other religious figures who encounter people claiming to be possessed by demons or other malevolent spirits. Overall, the Vatican's long and complex history of paranormal and supernatural phenomena has fascinated people for centuries.
The unexplained disappearance of Kenny Beech. Kenny Beech was a 47-year-old avid hiker of the Mojave Desert in Nevada. On November 10, 2014, he told his family he planned to go on a 2-day hike in the mountains and look for a cave. He never returned. Beech was an experienced hiker who often took solo trips to explore the Mojave and Great Basin deserts of Nevada and California respectively. He was a minimalist or ultralight hiker. Even though he would camp out for days at a time, he only ever brought the bare minimum of supplies. He rarely brought a GPS, compass, or map. Although he had successfully completed many hikes in his lifetime in that manner, it is still an incredibly reckless way to hike. Beech had a YouTube channel under the name Snakebit McGee. where he had uploaded a few videos but mostly used it to watch and comment on others. His channel name came from his tendency to pick up snakes whenever he found them. He was bitten by a rattlesnake, which is where his tag name came from. On June 2014, he commented on a video titled "Son of an Area 51 Technician." In his comment, he stated that he had found an M-shaped cave about 7 miles out from Nellis Air Force Base in the Sheep Mountains, which are north of Las Vegas, Nevada. He explained that he was an experienced hiker who regularly found abandoned mine shafts and explored them, picked up rattlesnakes for fun, solo hiked across mountains, although would fear to go, and even came close to Area 51. Despite all this, he never went into the M cave. He claimed that as he began to enter the hidden cave, his entire body began to vibrate. The further in he went, the worse the shaking became. He suddenly grew very scared and quickly ran out of the cave and hiked back to his car. His comment sparked an interest with others who encouraged Beech to go out and discover the cave again, this time filming the entire hike. He agreed and left to find it a second time, carrying along with him a video camera and a 9mm handgun. He posted a video of his hike, but unfortunately was unable to find the mystery cave. The viewers criticised him and provoked him to go out a third time. On November 10th, 2014, he left for an overnight trip, but never came back. After 2 days and no return, his family contacted authorities who conducted a search. In the beginning of the video he had previously posted, he stood by an abandoned mine shaft while narrating his mission details. It was at that mine shaft that search and rescue found his cell phone, 10 days after the search began. Over 30 search and rescue volunteers conducted 3 separate searches and a helicopter flyover to no avail. The trail went cold after that. Many conspiracy theories cropped up. Did he fall down the mine shaft? Or had he stumbled upon a hidden entrance to Area 51 and discovered a dangerous military secret? Was he just a reckless hiker who injured himself, or did he reach the M cave and find something ominous inside? A woman claiming to be his girlfriend later posted a comment on his last video that stated she did not believe he had had an accident. She explained that he had been suffering from depression for some time and had quit his job the year prior, so she argued that he had most likely taken his own life. So far, no conclusion has yet to be drawn about Kenny Beech's mysterious disappearance.
Interestingly, someone on social media came forward and said that they found the entrance to the cave, noting that when you look at it from above, the M shape can easily be seen. They said the following: "This photograph is interesting because it seems that the M shape is only visible from certain angles, and I think this is why the cave has never been officially found. People's view may be obstructed, or they may have walked past it without realizing. Some of these cave systems are hidden, and unless you happen to be looking at it from the right angle, the cave's entrance could take on a completely different appearance." End quote. It is difficult to provide an exact number of caves in the Mojave Desert, as many are still unexplored and undocumented. However, it is estimated that there are hundreds of caves located throughout the Mojave Desert region, spanning across California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. Many of these caves are located in remote and difficult-to-reach areas, and some have been designated as protected areas due to the presence of sensitive or endangered species within them. The actual number of caves in the Mojave Desert may never be known due to the vast and rugged terrain of the region. The man said that the area is hard to reach and doesn't even know if it's visible from the ground. However, they did say in another comment that they want to go out there and investigate it for themselves, saying that they might bring their drone with them in order to help identify where this particular cave is. Kenny said the following about the mysterious cave: "I solo hike across mountaintops that most people wouldn't dare go. I have been in more caves than I can count, and I play with rattlesnakes for fun. But this one particular cave was beyond anything I had ever encountered. I've been doing this sort of thing for over 20 years. I go where no one goes, and I never take anyone with me. I find skulls of all shapes and sizes, and occasionally I find really old animal traps. I hike over mountaintop after mountaintop and sleep on peaks under the stars. Sometimes I have to scale giant cliffs to get myself out of a jam, but I always make it back. I'm beat up and tired, and my pack is almost always heavier than when I left. I had to be rescued only one time by a helicopter. I'd blown out my left leg at the top of the mountain, and I only had a cup of water left to get me 20 miles back to my truck. It was also over 100 degrees, so I have a very good safety record." End quote. Oddly enough, a woman claiming to be his girlfriend posted the following comment on one of his videos. She said the following: "I am the girlfriend that Kenny spoke of in the video. There are so many posts, and I had no idea until a friend let me know. So many people are wondering what happened and guessing different things. You are heartfelt about the sadness around what has happened with Kenny. He has not been found, and I feel that he probably will not be found for many months, if ever. I want to share what I know and feel about what happened, so that you might bring some closure and understanding in your own lives. Kenny absolutely loved hiking in the desert. It was his very favorite thing to do. We hiked and camped together all over the Nevada desert, sometimes 9 hours in a day. We found many abandoned mining towns, usually referred to as ghost towns by Nevada hikers. We explored many caves and mine shafts. We were always careful how we explored them, but Kenny was a bit more daring than I was. We wore snake guards, sun protective clothing, used walking sticks, brought enough water and food for the hiking hours, and had extra water and food in the car. I want you to know that I do not think Kenny had an accident. I believe he took his life. He battled for many years and would not take medication or see a doctor. He quit his job a little more than a year before he disappeared. The search for him was started within a couple days of my call. Over 30 search and rescue team members searched 3 different times on foot. 1 helicopter flyover was done, and there was no trace of Kenny or any of his camping things." End quote. Although many users believed that these comments were the real deal, others said that it could have been some random person posting about Kenny, and said that there's no way of identifying whether this person is genuine, and stated that they could have just created an account. Oddly enough, it's reported that hikers have found various strange caves throughout the United States, but park rangers have come forward and said that he most likely didn't prepare for the hike, or that the comments from his girlfriend were true and that he headed into the desert and ended things. The Mojave Desert is considered dangerous for several reasons. Firstly, the desert is extremely hot and dry, with temperatures that can easily reach well over 100 degrees during the day and drop to below freezing at night. This can cause dehydration, heat stroke, and other heat-related illnesses for those who are not properly prepared. Additionally, the Mojave Desert is home to several venomous animals, including rattlesnakes, scorpions, and spiders. Hikers and visitors to the area should take precautions to avoid contact with these animals and seek medical attention if bitten. The desert is also vast and rugged, with many remote areas that are difficult to access and lacking in water sources. This can make it easy for hikers and visitors to become lost or stranded, leading to potentially life-threatening situations. Finally, the Mojave Desert is home to military bases and testing sites, some of which may be off-limits to the public. Visitors should be aware of these areas and avoid trespassing, as they may face legal consequences or encounter hazardous materials or weapons. So, what do you make of this mysterious photograph? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.